Hi everyone, this is Lisa, ElleSnaps Flosstube number 5. Take number 5006. Almost. Maybe give or take a few. The lighting's not great because it's kind of overcast outside, but you know, we can live with that. We can make do. The area behind me was all done, but I took stuff down so that I could hand it off, show it to you, that kind of thing. And I've made a mess. I had a nice organized little pile here, and I've made a nice mess out of it because I've done this 5,602 times. It feels like I'll be erasing videos for the rest of the afternoon. Okay, so let's get started. First, I finished Giving Thanks by Brenda Gervais. This is a chart that was loaned to me by a wonderful stitcher, and I'll be shipping that back out to her. I was going to go ahead and already do that, but I knew that I wanted to use this to do the thing, so it'll go out this coming week. And then this is my finished piece, and it turned out really great. I love it. I love the pumpkin. I love the fabric. It's vintage fawn Lakeside, and I believe it is 40 count. It may be 36 count. I'm not sure. It's on my Flosstube. I mean, it's on my Instagram. It's got a very delicate, light, spread apart kind of feel to it. And that was honestly about the only difficulty with stitching it, is that everything is so spread out. But it also is a little bit forgiving for mistakes if you make any mistakes. So that was kind of nice. I hope someday that this becomes available. It is on Brenda Gervais' website, Country Stitches Online. But it's almost always out of stock. So I'm not sure what the deal is on this. I'm just grateful to have borrowed and stitched it. I can just take it off my list of things that I want to do. And now this will go into the stack of let's get this thing framed, which now I have a separate stacks to do. And because it is the beginning of the year, that process has already started. I'll be getting things framed throughout the year at various places so that I can get some of my things up on the wall and show them off. So the other thing that I started was my Blessing Sampler, which was La-Di-Da, Tidings of Great Joy. I love this thing. The colors are striking. It's really pretty. And the only issues that I had was this house, the mortar matches the fabric almost completely. So when you're stitching it, you can barely see it. Like it was very difficult for me. And I found that odd because I blazed through the rest of it. I haven't finished it yet, but I didn't start it until the 10th or so when I finished the Giving Thanks Sampler. So I extended my Blessing Sampler to the 19th of February, which is my birthday. So if I finish it by the 19th or on the 19th, my needle will be blessed, and those are the rules that I've made and I will live by. So there you go. This is where I am. The whole bottom half, the whole bottom 2/3 of it is done. I'm up here on the last set of the letters and then crossing over the top, and then I'll move this Q-snap over. So it's literally probably a quarter away from being done. And if one good solid weekend of stitching on this, it'll be finished, because letters are my favorite and I'll blast through those. I really will. I love this border. I love the repeating stems and the leaves. It has a great rhythm to it when you're stitching it, so it looks like it's tedious, but for me, the rhythm of this is really great. I loved it. This is on 36 count Picture This plus Wren, I believe. It's either 36 or 40. That's always my jam. That's what I stitch on. This is what it's being housed in, the only Stitch Folk bag that I own. I got this when the Words of Wisdom red box came out, and I bought that from Hands Across the Sea. It's got, it's full of beautiful, beautiful little wordy samplers, and words are my favorite. So someday I'll go through that and pull out a few of those that I can get into. The other thing that I stitched on was Rejoice Evermore. And there's a story behind this. It's, as we all know, that we lost an icon in our stitching community recently of Jean Lee. And I'm not professing that I was friends with Jean Lee. I was a fan of hers and loved hearing all the things about her and her retreats and things like that. But she started messaging me, which I think she did to quite a few people. But she started messaging me, I want to say back in May of 2022, and little lines of encouragement and things like that. And or she would laugh at some of the silly things that I put on my stories on Instagram and stuff like that. And I posted my progress one night. Like, I just posted a picture of my progress on the sampler one night on my stories, and she asked me, what is that? It's beautiful. And I told her that it was Rejoice Evermore by Brenda Gervais. And she said, I'm going to kit that up. Thank you so much. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see that kind of thing. And she did sprinkle more messages throughout the years, all the way up until probably December, I think, of this past year. Just little hearts and laughing emojis and things like that. And she was just such a wonderful thing for this community. And I wasn't necessarily what you call a friend, or I didn't know her. I'd never met her. But I feel her loss as profound as everyone else. She impacted this community, great and small. So we were lucky to have her, really lucky to have her. And I was lucky that she communicated with me. This is my progress on Rejoice Evermore. It's complete all the way down to the bottom, which is buried under here. And I only have this area up here to get done on. So I pulled this out and I stitched on it in honor of Jean for a little bit. And I think that once this is complete, I will put Jean's either initials or her name on here somewhere, just to signify her iconic presence in the stitching community. I don't think I'll be the only one that does that, and I think that's wonderful. And she'll be missed greatly. The next thing I have is on my birthday, February the 19th, I'm going to be starting something that I was inspired by just several people on Instagram, and then mostly Olivia at Pumpkin Hollow Quilts and Christy at Crosshatch Quilts. And I know there's more people out there stitching it, but those two I followed their progress on quite a bit. And just, I want to start that. I want to do it. And I managed to talk myself out of doing that successfully for a while until recently, when I saw Christy at Crosshatch Quilts framed piece of it. Now, I've seen Olivia's framed. It's gorgeous. And I don't know what tipped me over when I saw Christy's, but I was like, that's it. That's it. I got to do it. And then I've been watching several new floss tubes or people that I'm not familiar with or whatever, but I started watching Red Velvet Quilts before my last floss tube. I think she put one out. I'm not sure, but it recommended her, so I watched her. And, I got a little kick out of her and her dogs and the way she, how she addresses things. Well, in one of her recent videos, she showed that she was doing this sampler too, and I was like, that's it. That's it. I'm doing it. I'm going to do this for my birthday. So it is, you don't want to see the back. And you don't want to see it upside down. Ta-da! It is Elizabeth Furniss. And I've studied this chart inside and out since I've gotten the chart, and I cannot wait to sink my needle into this. Seriously, I can't wait. I'll be doing on 40 Count Sleeping Bear by Needle and Flax with the DMCs, and they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. So I'll be starting that on my birthday, the 19th. Andrea with Pugs and Stitches on Instagram is going to start that with me. And I messaged Red Velvet Quilts, and and told her that she had to stitch a little bit on hers on the 19th because I said so. I don't know if she's good at taking orders, but she messaged that she will try to keep that. She'll write that down. I told her to jot it down. We'll see. I just wanted to have a little fun with someone. But last year I started Mary Ann Kopp on my birthday. I haven't worked on it much since. And that's why I want to, you know, I've got plans for rotations. But, and Katie and Carlene and a few other people started it too. I can't think of who all. I apologize. But I love that sampler too. So I saw Periwinkle Stitcher's last video, and she brought out something that she had finished from Shakespeare's Peddler that was an exclusive with them, and I had to get it because it was so pretty. And she showed this completed, and I loved it, and I'm gonna do this so at some point this year. I bought it with the silks, so all I need to do is pick out a fabric, which I think I already have done. But I'll show it when I start it and show it fabric and all that good stuff. But I can't wait to get that started too. So as far as rotations go, I don't do anything like Whipco or any of that stuff, or I haven't done anything. I don't have a problem with it or an issue with it or things like that. I have always been a monogamous stitcher, and over the last couple of years I've slipped off and started doing, you know, starts and you know, stitch alongs and things like that. I've learned I'm not good at stitch alongs because I don't know if I'm going to set it down and start something else or what. So I need to do something that I've seen several other stitchers doing, and that's a rotation. And I just need to know that on X, you know, for 3 days every week, I'm going to work on X. And for the, you know, 4 days, I'm going to work on X. Or on Sundays, I'm going to work on X. And so I want to implement this and put it down so I can finish things like Rejoice Evermore and My Birds of a Feather, Sally Spencer, things that are just like burning a hole in my back pocket. Why aren't you working on these? And so maybe I can get 3 things done by Maura Blackburn. You know, I really just want to finish the things that I'm starting. I don't mind starting big samplers. I'm not afraid of them. I'll get them done. Like I want to get Ann Dale done, and these are major projects, and the only way you're going to get them done is to work on them. Okay, so I want a rotation so that I will actually make some progress on these things. So that is something that I hope to work on and have accomplished by the time I do a next floss tube or something like that, is so I can establish for 3 days I work on this, and for 4 days I work on this, or that kind of thing. I'm not the kind of stitcher that I could probably work on one thing and then start something the next day, and then, you know, every day I'm working on something different. I don't believe I'm that. Because once I sink into something, or I get that really good rhythm going with something, I'm going to want to hang with that. And obviously there's going to be exceptions where you're working on something, you're like, I can't put this down. I cannot put this down. And I may allow myself a day to do that with. But I think I'm probably going to have to stick with the rotation pretty closely in order to get things done. And, you know, people like Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts and a lot of people that do their whipcos and things like that, they have a lot more whips than I do. But I think that would be helpful for me to set that kind of rotation up, because I get antsy. I'm like, I want that done. And if I see somebody holding it up, I'm like, oh, I want that done. So that's why I'm going to try to implement that. Okay, so the other thing that I have and I wanted to show was I've gone through 2 sewing boxes. I bought one and decorated it, and I used it so much that it came apart here and just slowly started to fall apart. And so this time I did one, and I just decorated it in a color that I love, and then I can just accent it. So this is my sewing box. I put a thread bed here. It opens up and it has things like my Burt's Bees and, you know, other little paraphernalia that we need for when we're stitching. I keep a waxer here, and little buttons, a little threader, my kohanas, stuff like that out. And then I've got to have a little bit of charms that kind of swing and sway when it opens. This needle minder is from Mad for Minders. I love their stuff. And this is my sewing box. It's what I use. So I wanted to show everybody that. I carry it everywhere I go. Right now I'm working on setting out the fabric to do a mat. So I have a sewing mat for Christmas and a sewing mat for Thanksgiving. I know I showed you guys those a while back. I want to do one for every day. So it'll likely be a lot of fabrics that are like what I have going on in there. A red French General. And I'll put that together, and that'll just be my mat until fall. And so I can just zhuzh it up with 4th of July or Easter, things like that. I don't think I'll make many more of them because I won't be able to keep track of them. I have as you guys know, I'm in my one room, and I don't have space coming out my ears. I have so much supplies now for quilting that I have a closet that's just outside. I have this closet full of cross stitch. And then I have that closet that's just outside my door that would normally be a linen closet, but we have plenty of space and all kinds of stuff out there that I took that closet and have made it exclusively for fabric and quilting. And it's jam full. Like, I don't know how I did that in a year, but it's jam full. Just a little bit of quilting. I did work on my Pinehurst by Laundry Basket Quilts. I did work on getting some more trees done. I have 45 of 72 done. And when I get those done, then I can start on the sashing and putting them all together. I don't want anything to happen and I've decided that no matter what, if I make mistakes on this, which I will, I'm going to love this thing. I'm going to love it, every bit of it. And the fabrics are just stunning. They're so pretty. So I can't wait to get that going. But I also started something that I saw on Fat Quarter Shop tutorials, Kimberly Jolly. She's so prolific. She's so good. And I've learned a lot from her, a tremendous amount from her. And so I had her playing when I did this. It's called Charm Pack Chili, and it requires, well, for the size I want to make, it requires 6 of the 6 charm packs, and I used a Bee Bundle by Lori Holt, and then I also, the Bella Solids by Moda, it's my white. So I have 2 of those and 6 of the prints. And I made 2, and there they are. And they turned out so cute. I'm so excited. So I think that when I'm feeling daunted by the bigness of my Pinehurst quilt and worrying about it, I'm going to pick up this and do some light stuff, fun stuff, and get through it. And it'll give me a little break of, from seriousness, I think. And I think it'll be pretty, or I hope. Okay, so some of the stuff behind me. This is Birds of a Feather, Friendship. It's not made. I'm hoping that what is it? Colorado Cross Stitcher, Sherry, remasters this one fairly soon for everyone because I know a lot of people that want to stitch it. I did it back in 2001. I know this is on, I'm pretty sure this is on 28 count. I'm pretty sure. I stitched it with 2 threads and I love it. It was the first sampler that I ever stitched. I love this. That is my friend Stacy, and this is me. Stacy and I have been friends for probably a good 35 years. And she's not a stitcher. She used to stitch a little bit, but she doesn't do it now. She does more other like embroidery and things like that. But she still has a needle in her hand on occasion. So we live about 8 minutes apart. We don't get to see each other a lot though because of how much I work. But Stacey's my good friend, and whenever I look at this sampler, I'll always think of her. And I sure do hope that it gets remastered by Sherry sometime soon. This was framed by Total Framing. It's lightweight. It's gorgeous. And it was worth the wait. I did that 2 or 3 years ago. This is my shaker basket that or handled basket, whichever you want to call it. But I got this from Amana back in, I want to say 23. It might be, I think it's 23. This is the only one that I can't remember the designer name of, but I will put it down below. She has this chart is three charts, 3 designs, and this is one of them. This is Emily Call. Have faith. Pray always. Love one another. They're just backed with some denim fabric, trimmed out with some flat rickrack. And I don't use a lot of trim on my pillows. I like things to be really flat on them. But these turned out so super cute with that. Excuse me. Anyway. Excuse me. Talking so much. Anyway, these are done on, I don't remember what they're done on. I know blue corn is the thread that I used to stitch these with, but I did all 3 of those and finished them out at the same time so that they would have similar backings. This is Heartstring Samplery. TheSubRosa. Don't judge my heart making skills, but if you're doing a prim, it's, you know, this isn't bad. I don't have the back stitched up yet because I was still trying to figure out how much stuffing I wanted to use. This is also TheSubRosa. Prim Stitcher's Heart. It's done like a Christmas with these fronds and the poinsettias or poinsettias. And then I used pine cones to, you know, add a little charm to them. It's just done with a red on the back. It's real pretty. Those are my first hearts that I did. And let me tell you, those hearts tricked me up when I was sewing them. This is a free chart by Lori Holt. It's on the Fat Quarter website, but it's free. And this is Brenda Gervais. It's a set of 3 charts in one. And I can't remember the name of it. It's Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread, available on her website, Country Stitches Online. I just trimmed it out with a flat rickrack. And I love them. They turned out really great. I think they're lovely. This I stitched 100 years ago, heart in hand. A long time ago. This is Brenda Gervais with the little book with all the little red things, red samplers in it, like this and like this. And then she also has tomatoes in there. I think there's like 7 or 8 little charts inside that book. It's really, really cute. I'll put the names of all of them down below so that you know where to go to find them. This is Nebby Needle, handle with a prayer. This fabric, this was framed by Hobby Lobby, and this fabric is a 32 count birds of a feather. So I had it in my stash from 100 years ago, and I just stitched it on this. And I have to tell you, I love this fabric. Love it, love it, love it. This turned out really cute. And I wanted something thin on it to make it look like boy in the 20s, you know, when they used to have all the words of praise and the words of wisdom and things like that on the wall in your children's room so that they could hear or see words that they needed to adhere to or live by. or try to throughout the day. And that's what I wanted out of this. Teresa Kogut, love her stuff. It's still available, I believe, on our site. I'm not sure. Darlene Deon Designs. She's got a bunch of really cute little ones that I want to stitch. And this is one of them. And you should absolutely do that. This is the Lisa Abbey stuff that I was talking about. Look at these strawberries. They're so beautiful. The stitching on them and everything. And then I bought the little display. And she has it displayed out a little bit differently than me, but I liked it kind of just laying out like that. I love this little strawberry with its stitching on it. I just laid it there with it. And there's other little ones where this was kind of set inside, but I kind of have it propped up in one of my cubbies. I just dropped one of the strawberries, but I'll pick it up in a second. And that is Blackbird Designs out of 2013, just Cross Stitching Magazine. This is Bent Creek, this one right here. This is Country Rustic Primitives, available on Etsy. Darlene Designs is on Etsy as well. And the rest of them, TheSubRosaDesign is on Etsy. Heartstring Samplery has her own website, or you can go to any cross stitch store and they'll have them online as well. And then she's on Country Rustic Primitives. Some of these others I'm not mentioning because I don't know who they are and they were 100 years old. I stitched them a long time ago. This is a Lottie Da. And she has a couple of books with just initials, like letters and little birds and things like that you can create your own little designs with. She just leaves out the space for the letter blank so you can add it in. I love them. I love them. Great little gifts to make, to give to people that are important to you, that kind of thing. Or you can just do the letter. I love this. Anyway, Lottie Da. And the rest... I'll show later, but the rest of these are old. They're very old. This is Blackbird Designs, a trifle for a friend. This is the Peacock Sampler. The Peacock Sampler by Lottie Da. I love it. I'm gonna put it over here so I don't make a mess trying to hang it back up. And then Hands-On Design. Little House Needleworks. I love them. I used to be just so much in love with everything they did. Love, love, love. Love these strawberries down here. And it doesn't say when I did it. But it's been a while, like probably 20 years, something like that. And then I have this stack that I'm going to be taking to the framer. I already have one going. I mailed a couple out. And I'll be going to another place that's close to Boxcar Quilts to see if I can get a couple of framed there too. So that's it. That's all I can... harass you with today, I think. Let me just think real quick here. Don't want to forget something. Already forgot. So I've been watching, you know, here and there when I can, Flosstube, and lots of times I'll watch it on my TV at night or, you know, here and there when I can if I'm in the car or at lunch at work or things like that. And I'll go back later and make comments, stuff like that. So I always try to do your thumbs up and then I'll come back and hit you with a comment later after I've watched it. Probably it might even take me several days to get back to you. But right before my last Flosstube, I'd started watching a new one that I'd seen that was Red Velvet Quilts, and then Carol called her out too. But she's cute, and she's one of the people that I saw doing the Elizabeth, or starting the Elizabeth Furniss chart. Then there's another new one that Emily reaches out to me and she messages me quite a bit on Instagram about funny little things, or, you know, we've talked about Bosscar, things like that. But she also has a floss tube, and it's Shady Grove. It's either Shady Grove Floss Tube or Shady Grove Stitcher. I can't remember. But Shady Grove, and her name is Emily. She's funny, and she stitches little things and shows her process on how she completes them and things like that. She's entertaining. But I've also watched the Unstable Stitchers with Roberta and Lenny. They're both, I had the pleasure of meeting Roberta at in Amana one time, and she's super kind, super nice. They're exactly what they look like. Lenny, I would assume, is the same, but I have not had the pleasure of meeting Lenny. I also watched, outside of watching Christy from Crosshatch Quilts and Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, and anything my friend Katie puts out, and but let's see, anybody that I've other people, a couple of people have shouted me out. There was a Tanya from Sampler Girl, or I can't remember, but I'll put it down below. She shouted me out when she had a Vlogmas during December, and all of these people are so nice to me. They're just so very nice to me. Floss Boss and Cousins. I love accents. I love all kinds of accents. American accents from different regions and all the dialects that go along with it. And I'm just a student of accents, like studying how they talk and speak. I've been that way since I was very young. So when I watch someone that's from the UK or other countries, I really love it. Like, especially, well, if I can understand them. I had some where their accent is so strong or heavy, I can't quite understand what they're saying. But every time I watch Nicola from Hands Across the Sea, I end up talking this way the rest of the afternoon. And Periwinkle Stitcher and all that. So I love accents, and Floss Boss and Cousins, they have a great accent. It's very heavy, and I really love it. Not to mention the fact that they're entertaining and funny, and they stitch on a variety of really wonderful things, and they have a ton of really fun giveaways and stuff like that. But I like to watch Floss Boss and Cousins because of that. Sully stitches. She's got a great floss tube, but a great accent, and it's very entertaining to watch. I am not going to sit here and pretend like I don't have an accent, but I don't. Anyway, I love accents. I love them all, and the heavier their accent is, like, I just think that's awesome. I want to know all about it, where they're from, what they're doing, all that good stuff. So, Floss Boss and Cousins. There's so many. Karen Combs, watching her, she's prolific in her stitching and her knowledge about stitching. I've been getting into watching the Camping Stitcher and all her framing. And the pieces that she's framing as well. But she had, on our last video that I watched, I'm not sure if that was her latest or not, she had some stuff that she had framed there, so they're wonderful. They look really good. And it makes you, it's the kind of thing that once you see them framed, it makes you want to just like put them down, start stitching on it, get yours framed too. I do, like I said, have a plan with all my stitching and getting things framed and out of the tub of treasure. Not that I don't mind my tub of treasure, but I do want them at some point finished and framed and not put on the wall and things like that. And so I have a stack that's, you know, they're already out there, they're going. That's all I can really think of. That's really it. I'm going to be going to, here the end of this month, I'll be going to Florida for a work meeting. So hopefully I'll get some stitching done at night while I'm there, when I'm not working. And then that should hit roughly around the time I should be putting out another video. So it might be like 4 to 5 weeks before I do another one. And plus I want to have something to show you. Maybe my rotation will be good and solid in place, and I'll have something to talk to you about that, whether it's whether I'm finding it a success or it's bogging me down. I don't think that it will, though. I really, really want to get some things done, and I'm looking forward to putting something in motion. Today's the Super Bowl. I love football in every aspect of it. I love college ball. I love pro ball. I love all of it. I have a favorite team that I've been following since I was 10 years old, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody calm down. I know they're terrible right now. It's okay. I will always be a Dallas Cowboy fan, even if I don't like what's going on with them. Here a while back, Vonna Pfeiffer put out a video about her skin, and you know, she's beautiful to begin with, but she was talking about her skin and things like that, and she had a regimen, but she put out a post about having dry skin, and I have eczema. I have terrible eczema, very, very, very dry skin. I mean, like when you put lotion or things like that on my skin, you can actually hear my skin just sucking it in. And especially my face, I've had shots, I've had steroids, I've been on everything because of this. And I used to use an oil combination that I used on my face, and it worked reasonably, but it would be usually gone by the end of the day. Vonna sent me a message and told me about a mixture of something that I could use for dry skin, and she says this stuff works, and I'm all about giving it a go, as long as it's not something that's going to cost me a fortune or, illegally mixed. And I pretty much trusted that Vonna wasn't going to pass something on like that. So she told me about a mixture of castor oil. The other oil starts with a J, can't think of it, and I'll write it down below, but it also has some drops of frankincense and myrrh, and so I collected those supplies and put them into dropper bottles now this is probably a good month old. I don't know if you can see that in there, but it's about maybe right at the crest of being about half full. I use this morning and night. About a half a dropper full on my face, and I go down my neck, and you can see it, like it's there, but it's not slimy or anything like that, and my skin loves it. And it has brought out some life in my skin, and I haven't had as many issues with being dry, and I even use it on the backs of my hands. So this is something I have to thank Vonna for, because not only is it cost efficient, but it works. And I really love this stuff, so I'll put that down below if anybody wants to know about it. Or you can message Vonna. I'm sure she'd be happy to share it. She was very kind and told me about this, and I wanted to let her know I've been doing it for about a month now, and I can safely say this stuff works. So for Valentine's Day, I made a little paper craft product, and I just sewed grocery bags together, brown paper bags, and then sewed this on it with a little piece of yarn. And I put 5 Hershey Kisses in there. Now I know that I intended when I gave this to people, they could just rip it open at any point, because you could just tear along these sew lines and it'll come apart. But a friend of mine, Caroline, said she just split it down the back, pulled the candy out, and then you can still have it basically to put in a dough bowl, or put some polyfill in it and do that. But this took minutes to make. And you don't need to be perfect. You can just like whip these together. They can be like, because once it gets in there, the paper gets bent and twisted and all that, and that's part of the attractiveness of the little package. I was going to use some fabric on it, little strips of fabric here and there to put on there as well, but I didn't have time when I was doing it. But these turned out just fine like this. And I love sewing on paper. I always have. I've been doing that since my kids were little. And I just kind of forgot about it. And then when I was doing something for Thanksgiving, why do I keep saying Thanksgiving? When I was doing something for Valentine's, I was like, you know, I think I'm going to sew something with the brown paper bags. So that's what I did. And I got lots of really cute goodie things for Valentine's. And I got this little cute heart with a pocket from Katie, and a little beautiful piece of DMC to go with it. And it just sits back here. I got candy and fun little things, and I already put them up, and that one was already laid out. That's the reason why I'm showing you that, because it's there. The others have all been separated out to where they belong, and the candy has been put into the jar that's in the kitchen for everybody to enjoy, with the exception of the York patties, and I ate those myself. So there's that. I don't think I have anything else. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I am writing more in my journal for my cross stitch, and saying what days I start things and things like that. And that's all I can think of. So we'll bring this to a close. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Cheer for your team. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so it was born within me to not like the Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody calm down. I don't need any shade for that. We all have our teams, and we all have our rivals, and we all have our favorites, and we all have the people that we don't like, and that we want to see win and we don't want to see win. I'm not going to say who that I'm really wild about the Super Bowl this year. I don't mind the Chiefs. But I did have a couple of teams that I wanted to see in there, and they're not there, and that makes it less exciting for me. I do want to see all the commercials for the Super Bowl. I cannot wait to see When Harry Met Sally, Billy Crystal, and Meg Ryan again. Those are my favorite people. And I look forward to some of the other commercials, see how fun they are. And I was going to do a stand-up for Sully Stitches, but because I'm going to start Elizabeth Furniss and I'm in the middle of putting this rotation thing together, I decided not to. That doesn't mean I won't be sitting there regretting it later when I see everybody roll in with their stand-ups, but I'll appreciate yours when I see them on Instagram. I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend. Have fun today watching the Super Bowl. And I thank you so much for liking and subscribing and commenting and letting me know what your favorites are, and if you've stitched something the same as mine, or if you have advice, whatever it is. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon.